This is the story of a small town in central Java, where a simple restaurant was packed with customers almost every day. It was located on the edge of a provincial road, surrounded by shade trees, creating a calm and comfortable atmosphere. The restaurant's walls were painted ivory white, with wide-leaf wooden windows, and a few neon lights that dimmed as dusk fell. No one suspected anything. Customers always praised the delicious taste, reasonable prices, and fast, friendly service. But behind this image of simplicity, something lurked that slowly instilled terror in those who began to discover its secrets. The restaurant's owner was a middle-aged woman, known to the local community as Mrs. Sarti. From the beginning, she was a simple person. But over time, her restaurant flourished. Not only local customers but also people from out of town came. The income grew every day, and in less than 5 years, Mrs. Sarti was able to purchase several plots of land, expand the building, and purchase a new vehicle. People began to wonder. However, whenever suspicions arose, Mrs. Sarti simply smiled calmly and attributed it all to good fortune. It was said that several employees who worked there had experienced strange things. Early in the morning, when all the customers had gone home and the tables had been cleared, the sound of clattering dishes and footsteps could still be heard in the kitchen. Yet, no one was there. Once, a night watchman, on shift during a heavy downpour, witnessed something he couldn't describe without shuddering. Amidst the smoke from the unextinguished stove, he saw the silhouette of a tall, large woman, her hair flowing down her face, standing staring at a large pot. Her thin hands moved slowly, as if stirring something invisible. The next day, the guard decided to quit, leaving only the keys and a resignation letter written with a trembling hand. However, all of this was dismissed as an exaggeration. Mrs. Sarti continued her business, ignoring the rumors that began to circulate. Until one day, a truck driver witnessed an incident that finally revealed the secret. That night, it was raining heavily. The driver stopped to eat and wait for the rain to subside. It was already 2 in the morning by the time he finished. Exhausted, he fell asleep on a lounge chair near the entrance. In a semi-conscious state, he heard a strange sound, like someone muttering, followed by a pungent odor that hit his nose. His eyes slowly opened. In the corner of the room, he vaguely saw a sight he would never forget. A woman standing with her back to him. Her long, dripping hair covered part of her back. Her feet weren't touching the floor. Slowly, her body turned, revealing a pale, eyeless face. The driver suddenly jumped up and screamed hysterically. In a panic, he broke down the restaurant door and ran outside, even as the rain continued to pour. The next morning, news of the incident spread quickly to the surrounding residents. People began to connect the strange occurrences: a fishy smell in the kitchen, unexplained noises, customers occasionally fainting, and several workers falling ill for no apparent reason. An old shaman who lived not far from the restaurant was finally asked to come and confirm what was happening. The shaman simply stood in the yard, closing his eyes and reciting a silent prayer. After a few moments, he opened his eyes with a heavy expression. He said there was an ancient pact there that had been going on for years. An ancient ritual called Perewangan, a ritual offering, demanded regular supernatural sacrifices. Under the agreement, the restaurant's spirit would help attract customers, make the food even more delicious than it was, and keep people coming back for more. In return, the spirit demanded special offerings and a perpetual sacrifice. 4 years, Mrs. Sarti maintained this relationship in secret. On certain nights, she would sit in the kitchen with a large pot filled with flower water, a few strands of human hair, and pieces of chicken mixed with herbs. It was said that during the ritual, the spirit of the Perewangan would come to lick the steam from the pot, then appear with a scary face. In return, the restaurant would be always busy, money would flow in, and anyone who ate would be satisfied without realizing the supernatural influence behind the taste. Not all sacrifices were human lives. Sometimes they were simply life energy, taken from vulnerable individuals. Beggars passing by, workers overcome with fear, or guests sleeping in restaurants. But such agreements were never eternal. When one condition wasn't met, the spirit would demand it in a terrifying way. The incident culminated on a Friday Kliwon night, when heavy rain fell again. Neighbors smelled a foul odor emanating from the restaurant's kitchen. A curious neighbor approached the back door. He saw the kitchen door wide open, the lights off, and only a dim ray of lightning revealed Mrs. Sarti sitting with her back to the door. Her body shook as if she were crying. In front of her, a large pot emanated thick black smoke. Slowly, a shadowy figure emerged from the pot, revealing a pale woman's face with long, protruding teeth, blank black eyes, and a tongue protruding to her stomach. The neighbor fled in terror. The next morning, the restaurant was found locked tight. The door could not be opened. It took several hours before the police arrived and, along with the residents, broke down the door. They found Mrs. Sarti lying on the kitchen floor, her face pale, her eyes open, staring at the ceiling. There were no signs of violence, only a suffocating, fishy odor. From then on, the restaurant was closed forever. The owner was buried without ceremony. The residents agreed to keep all stories under wraps, speaking only in whispers. The building is now empty, its walls covered in moss, its windows partially broken. However, according to reports, every Friday Kliwon night, passers-by still smell a strange, fishy odor, accompanied by the sound of soft footsteps coming from the direction of the kitchen. Several truck drivers who accidentally stopped for a rest have heard someone moaning softly, as if calling them to come in. Others swear they saw the silhouette of a woman standing at the window, staring blankly at the street. This story serves as a reminder that behind the ambition for enrichment, there is always a price that is not commensurate. Persugihan is not just a myth, but a dark contract that will always demand retribution. And when the time comes, no one can escape reckoning. That's the true story that was later made into a film titled Perewangan, a depiction of human greed juxtaposed with supernatural horror, which will forever leave its mark on the place that was once a place of fellowship. This story is more than just a bedtime story. It grew from true testimony, becoming a dark legend on the outskirts of town, and a reminder that whatever we achieve through dirty means will one day demand a reward we never expected.